everybody. Let's see here. Double check my audio coming through. Okay. Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Audio is quiet and my music is loud. It should not be the case. Let me turn music down a little bit. Okay, how about that? Is that better? Okay. All the way from the East Coast where it is afternoon. It's morning. Morning is a state of mind. It's all where you're gonna be. If I haven't had lunch yet, it's still morning. Which I have not. So it is. Good morning or afternoon, or I'm sure evening, to wherever you are and whoever you are. Well done. It is Monday, which is wild. Can't believe we're back at Monday. It's crazy that keeps happening. I had a very fun weekend over the weekend. My fiance and I went to Six Flags and got to hang out, just spend a day together, which was very fun because we don't have a ton of time that we get to just chill together. So that was very, very fun. Love Six Flags. Yes, Six Flags is great. We went to Six Flags Great Adventure, I think is what it's called. It's the one in Jersey, which is the only one that I've been to. But it's very fun. Rode a lot of coasters. There's one coaster there called the King de Ka, which is like a white whale coaster for me that I cannot manage to ride it. Every time I make it over to where the King de Ka is, it just is consistently broken. So it's rough. Do we ride El Toro? Yes, we rode all three of those, EO Gamer. El Toro was violent and I did not enjoy it. We rode it at the end of the day and our bodies were already tired and sore and it was a bad way to end. Nitro we rode like 3 or 4 times. The one time we pulled back into the station and there was no one in line, so they just launched us again, which is always fun. Nitro's a great ride. Jersey Devil is a new like top coaster for me. The Jersey Devil was awesome. Such a good ride. I will say I am a tall person and there are no headrests on the Jersey Devil. If there was a headrest on the Jersey Devil, easy top 5 for me. Like easy top 3 for me probably. But they're without the headrest, my neck hurt. Green Lantern is absolutely a never ever again. I remembered the Green Lantern ride being better. It was just pain this time, which was unnecessary. Let's see. Artemis, you had a big fundraiser yesterday. What's the fundraiser for? Give a shout out. EO Gamer, yes. Green Lantern is very rough. I felt like my head was just being like pounded on both sides the entire time. I felt like I had just gotten out of a fight when I got off of that ride. It is crazy the juxtaposition of coasters in that park, of like some of the rides are so good and others are so bad. But the ones that are good are incredible. I still love the Joker. The Joker is very, very good. The there's also the Superman ride, which is very fun. Pulls you up, so you're like flying like Superman. I will say on that ride, I had forgotten that there is a loop that goes. You're like you go from like a standing position to up elevated like Superman, and there's one loop that brings you down around on the ground in a loop so that you're upside down like with your back to the ground in that loop, and it is insane. It like the amount of pressure you feel in your stomach during that loop is wild. Eric, not a rides fan. No blaming. There's plenty of stuff for everybody. I really love like thrill rides, but they're just not for everybody, and some of them I'm not interested in. Fundraiser for the Bactaire for the Trevor Project and played Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Excellent. I've never gotten around to playing that system. Last time I went to Six Flags, it was with my friend Rob. I said, hey, do you want to go on the Six Flags this weekend? He said, sure. Then we got there and he was like, do you want to do this ride? He was like, no. I was like, do you want to do this ride? He was like, no. I was like, well, what rides do you want to do? He was like, oh, I don't really like roller coasters. Why did he bring you there? We didn't finish the adventure. We're playing again on July 5th. Best of luck. Hope that you have a excellent rest of the adventure. The inverted loop is your favorite part of the ride. Yeah, it threw me. I was not prepared for it. I've ridden the Superman ride before, and had forgotten that was a thing. Eric, are there things that you do enjoy at amusement parks? Simulators all day. Avatar is the best ride ever made, and I'll fight you from the back of my giant lizard bird. It's a very good ride. That's the Flight of Passage or whatever it's called in Disney. It's a very, very, very good one. Ridden a slingshot before. I'm not sure I know what a slingshot is, so I'll say no. There was I'd suck it up for Star Wars. Rise of the Resistance is an insane ride. If you ever get the chance to ride it, it's very, very cool. The animatronics, all of it is incredible. Always the teacups, best non-coaster ride. We didn't get around to the teacups. We should have. I like the teacups. Grace isn't a big spinning fan, though. I found out. So we didn't do the teacups. We also didn't do Cyborg has a ride there that is like you strap into a thing, and then it like spins you, but then the thing that's spinning you also starts spinning, and then the thing that is spinning that also starts spinning, which looked like a lot of fun, but Grace rightfully said not to do it. So we didn't. She's smarter than me. Oh, Davy Jones, I didn't get a chance to ride Ratatouille. It was still in the early admittance that you had to have like a invite in order to ride it when we were there. But it looks very cute. Let's see, BBG Hayward, what are you dropping in here? Oh, it's one of these. Okay. I've never ridden the one that launches you into the air. I've ridden the one where you like go up into you start at the top and then you pull a ripcord and it just free fall drops you. So that looks like a lot of fun though. I would do that. Let's see, Davy Jones is very similar mechanically to Rise of the Resistance, but put you onto some sort of simulator sections, then moved back into a sliding around the floor on a kitchen. It was whimsical. I like that. The one that launches you into the air is amazing. I will take your guys' word for it. I will try it the next time I see it. Oh man. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. I enjoyed it. It was a good like just disconnect weekend. We put our phones in our bags and we didn't really use them throughout the day. It was nice to just have a day away from everything. But yeah, good weekend. Looking forward to Hooligans tonight. Be fun to get all of them back in there. For those of you who missed last week's Hooligans, go watch it for tonight. It ends intensely. Still have to finalize a few things with some players before the stream tonight, but I think it's gonna be good. We're just finding our Discord right now is bouncing around ideas for character stuff because they all leveled up. So at level 4 they have to choose their either the stat increase or the feat, and then they're also because of the way that their magic works, I'm giving them the ability to sort of specialize their magic in some way. So they have to figure out how they want to start specializing their magic, which direction they want to start pushing it, which is fun. Had some very fun conversations with a couple of them about what they want to do with that stuff. Let's see, Mistwalkers tonight too, and I've missed the players. It's been a long few days. That's exciting, Artemis. Let's see here. Have you released our monster yet? The one that we built in the chat, BBG Hayward? No, I haven't yet. They haven't quite gotten there yet. EO Gamers Battle for Metropolis, was that the shooter game? We were just like shooting at a screen. If so, yes, we did accidentally. We saw the Hall of Justice and we walked in. And then it was that, and we were like, oh, well, I guess we're riding this. Yes, D&D is very good for getting out of your own head for a little while. Muscle Wizard Cast Fist, a classic Sakura. Okay. I've got some caffeine in my system. Let's dive in here. I wanted to just go over some stuff that I haven't really gone over on the stream all that much. Artemis, yes, hit me up. I haven't really gone over on the stream all that much about like the behind the scenes of what's been going on the last couple of months. I just wanted to give some visibility to that. All of you know that my co-host and I are no longer doing the show together. Obviously, it's just me. This stream was never designed to be just me. It was never meant to be a platform for me to talk on. That wasn't the goal. The original vision for Warlocks and Waffles was literally just, let's have an excuse for Paul and I to sit down and talk and bullshit and do random RPG nonsense. It was literally just an excuse for us to have a reason to get on a call and talk. That was the original plot of Warlocks. That's why we created it. It was just to give both of us a creative outlet that wasn't our own games. I didn't really want to do anything big. I've never wanted to be a streamer. It wasn't something that I sought out. It wasn't something that I was looking to do. In fact, I said on multiple occasions that I would never run an actual play, because I had no interest in it. It wasn't something that I wanted to be doing. That being said, I love it. I fell in love with it. I greatly enjoy being on stream and talking with you guys, and just having a different creative outlet. I love that. It's fantastic. But it's not what Warlocks was originally designed for. Warlocks was designed to be this sort of morning show environment where we were gonna get into a call and talk about something together and go back and forth and have guests on and interview them about stuff. And I was gonna do a lot of the like creative stuff and come up with like random ideas for what we were gonna do, and Paul was gonna do a lot of the tech stuff and like make sure that everything was running smoothly and designing new overlays and stuff like that. And it's definitely more difficult with just one person. I've talked about it on stream before. I have pretty severe ADHD, pretty brutal depression and anxiety that come along with that. One of the primary one of the major side effects, and a very prevalent side effect of ADHD that goes untreated, is depression and anxiety. Because you are in a world that doesn't function the way that you function. You're in a world where doing stuff the way that makes sense to you gets you in trouble because you're doing it wrong. ADHD isn't something that manifests at a late age. It's something that like you're born with, and then it gets worse. It does change over time, but I've always had it. Looking back, it's very clear that I've always had it. But the looking back at it, it was never something that we ever addressed growing up. It wasn't something that I knew I had until a few years back. Like I found out during, I knew, but it wasn't something that I had been diagnosed with. It was something that like I figured out that my brain didn't work, quote unquote, correctly. I put that in quotes because it's not something I believe. I don't believe that there is a correct way for your brain to work. It's just different. But the world isn't designed for that difference. It's designed for a pretty straight thought process. It's not designed for the ADHD brain that bounces off of a dozen different things before it arrives at its destination. All that to say, because I had ADHD and it was left untreated, and I didn't know how to deal with it. It became something that manifested the depression and the anxiety, and those became bigger problems in their own rights. The reason I found out that I had ADHD was because that I was routinely going to the doctor trying to get depression and anxiety meds. I was trying to be treated for those because those were the big problems. The ADHD I've always had. I've learned to work through it. I've learned to build things around it. The depression and the anxiety made it impossible to do anything. And so I started going to the doctor to get those meds, and every med that they gave me would help a little bit, but didn't help as much as I needed it to. And I distinctly remember going to the doctor and being like, "Listen, I feel like the depression and the anxiety are we're putting band-aids on a broken bone. Like the depression and anxiety doesn't feel like the root cause. It doesn't feel like something that I am working to. It felt like I was working to fix something that was going to continue to get worse because we weren't addressing the bigger problem. So we kept putting different fixes onto depression and anxiety, but never were addressing the bigger issue, which was that I had severe ADHD. Still have severe ADHD. Had is the wrong word. And so we sat down and we started scoping out a plan moving forward of what we wanted to do with that. We started me on ADHD meds, and I remember the first day that I had ADHD meds because I got a week's worth of work done in one day. And the feeling of immediate relief of like, it's not that I'm lazy. It's not that I was like just putting everything off and unable to get things done. I'm not stupid. I'm not lazy. I'm not ignorant. I'm just, my brain doesn't want me to do the things that I want my brain to do. And so I got a week's worth of work done in one day, and then started rebuilding everything that had been broken, and immediately everything started getting better. And I was on ADHD meds for 4-5 months, something like that. And then I hit last summer. And I turned 26, and I couldn't be on my parents' insurance anymore. And looked around for other insurance, and it was too expensive. So I couldn't be on insurance because, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Twitch and professional GMing don't have a great healthcare option. So couldn't be on insurance. Tried to get the meds a different, like, just on my own. Couldn't afford the meds. Had to stop being on those meds. And it was really rough. Still is. Every day I miss having those meds, because in a weird way it's worse having it's worse having had them and losing them than it was to have not had them. Because when I didn't have them, I didn't know I didn't know how much easier things could be. And then losing it and having it be like, I know that all of this frustration, all of these issues that I'm dealing with, a lot of them would be fixed if I had magic little rocks that I put into my belly, and they make my brain go, ah, yes, let me connect those things for you. Oh, no, you actually don't have to stare at this screen for 4 hours, hyperfixating on this random piece of trivia that you learned. It made things, I don't want to say better, but it made things easier. It was easier for me to do things in the way that the world is set up to accept them. Which is wild. So I lost my meds in August of last year. By the middle of September, I was out of them. In the midst of that is when Paul and I started working on Warlocks and Waffles. It was October of last year. We went live and did our first show, and it was just it played into the way our brains worked. Paul and I both have ADHD. So we were able to make this thing that worked well with the way our brains worked. It was a lot of like rapid fire. There's the old joke that Davy Jones made a long time ago about our show is like finding a bumper car in the middle of the woods. You're not sure how it got there, but you're sure it was fun along the way. Because it was all over the place. It was different, and it was wild, and I was very excited for that ride. I really enjoyed building it. But then we also we had different ideas of what we were looking for out of the show. I wanted it to stay that. I just wanted it to be the original plan was we're doing this so we have an excuse to hang out and chat and talk about random nonsense. And Paul wanted to make it bigger, for it to be something that he knew it could be, because I believe we did have something special at the beginning, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you have something special and you want it to be bigger and better and available to a wider audience, absolutely go for it. But at the time, it wasn't what I was looking for. And as somebody who was actively struggling with like coming off of my ADHD meds and just trying to hang on, that was really, really hard. To see it continue to grow and feel like even less about the actual growth of it, but more to do with me feeling like I was unable to contribute to that growth other than just logging on when I needed to log on, being half decently funny for a couple hours, and then logging off and going and crashing for an hour afterwards because I was tapped. It was rough, but I was getting into the swing of it. I was along for the ride. I'm always down to go along with what people are looking for. So if you're looking to grow it, I'm there. I'm happy to help. Here are my ideas on how we can do that better. And I was excited for the growth. Like it even though it wasn't what I was originally looking for, I was ecstatic to see that growth. That growth was very exciting in the early days of it. We hit our I don't know if it's affiliate or partner, whichever one's the first one, on Twitch. We hit that within a month, I think, of us being on the air. In December, I started making contact with a bunch of different companies and started doing all sorts of like, we had all these guests on. It was so much fun to have these people in the show and talk about them, talk about all the cool projects that they were working on. We met the people from 1985 Games and Alchemy RPG, who are still close friends of the show and intricately connected. The show wouldn't exist without them. And I started prepping out the stuff for PAX. We were gonna do these panels. We were excited to be doing that, and I was so ready. Like, I was slow to get on board with, like, let's exponentially grow. But once I was on board, I was ready. I was excited. We went to PAX and we had the panels, and they were good. And that first panel, the number of people that showed up for embracing the nonsense in tabletop RPGs, a thing that I started saying very early on in Warlocks. A lot of people showed up for that stream, or for that panel. It went really well, and people came in and talked to us afterwards about, like, hey, this is a thing that I'm doing in my game. Is there any advice you have for me? Which is wild. It's crazy that happened. And then Paul and I went our separate ways. It fell to me to decide if I wanted to keep things going, if I wanted to maintain the show and keep things moving, if I wanted to build it up, if I wanted to make new content. It fell to me. I also had to decide how much time I could put in, because I had to learn all of the streaming side of things, which, as someone with ADHD, who, try as I might, could not get myself to like hyperfixate on that. Like, couldn't get it to hyperfixate in a useful way, where I would just dive in and learn everything about Streamlabs and Twitch and all of that. It was a very frustrating process for me, of learning how to do that, of learning how to make those filters, those overlays, to maintain that while also coming up with content, with also planning for Hash Browns and Hooligans and prepping all of that stuff, and also, like, dealing with the any repercussions of the original disconnect of the two of us. Dealing with all that was rough. I think I'm on the other side of it now. I understand Streamlabs. I bought a Stream Deck so that I can push buttons and it does what I need it to do. Still need to go through and, like, finish putting that together, but it's easier now. Because my ADHD forgets where I left scenes. So, for example, on the left-hand side for me for Streamlabs, there's like all the different scenes that I can transition us to. So I can send us to like the share screen scene, so I can see all of that. I can go back to the other stuff. I've figured it out, but like my ADHD, I have very bad object permanence. So if I'm not actively looking at the list of scenes, I forget where they are. Which is why if you watch old episodes when it was my first time running all of that on my own and throughout, you'll see me like trying to transition to a scene, and I'm just like scrolling through trying to figure out which scene it was, where it's at, renaming things because my brain refused to remember that credits is what the end scene is called. I would not stick in my brain. So now it's called ending, and it is right below the loading screen. But that means that I forget where other things are. So having the stream deck means that I can plug all of that in and push it in there. Makes it easier. Learning to not only cope with my ADHD, but also how to organize things around it is really hard. But it's also necessary. The thing that I run into now is dealing with we lost a lot of momentum, which is frustrating. We had built up a lot. We did the panels at PAX, and then came back and basically were on hiatus for at least a week, because there was nothing that I could do. I didn't know any of the tools. And then we got the Butter Nights running for hooligans, and I was excited for that. It was going to be a lot of fun. And then my computer broke. We found out very quickly that my computer was not capable of running wasn't capable of running like Alchemy and Streamlabs and all the other programs that I was running to run things, which I'm honestly very glad we found out during those trial weeks. I'm very glad we found that out then, instead of getting back into hooligans and trying to run it, and on a night that we were supposed to be running hooligans, have everything turn to crap. I'm glad we found it out then. And I've got my new rig, which is great. Hasn't had any problems. This rig is so fast and efficient that like I can see through the glass on the side of the computer. I can see the main like fan units in it, and the majority of the time those fans don't even need to come on to run everything that I'm running, because it's so efficient that it's not going to even need the extra cooling. I assume that's what that means. I know nothing about computers. But losing that momentum was hard. As like someone with not only ADHD, but also the depression, seeing that, like, I was never somebody that really looked at the numbers. I still don't. If you're here, awesome, and I love you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. But I can't look at the numbers. I can't be obsessing over them and looking at them each week. If I see like a drastic drop off of like, there were like 20 people in the call, and the moment we started talking about like which monster would look the best in a prom dress, we lost 20 people. Like, obviously that's a big sign, but for the most part, I don't look at the numbers, because if I look at them, I get stressed, and it's not something I ever want to stress about. I'm not concerned with the mass appeal of the channel. At least not for individual things. If you like Warlocks and Waffles, awesome. I'm so glad that you like it. I'm so glad that you're here. If you don't, that's fine too. We have Hooligans. We have a couple other new shows that are sort of in the works, that I hope you enjoy. But my goal is to make it so that anyone can find something on the channel that they enjoy, but nobody should feel like they need to watch everything on the channel. And if I just obsess over the numbers of every show, I'm just gonna stress myself out. So I don't look at them. If I can help it. Every once in a while, my eye catches the number, and it's either deeply reassuring or very scary. But coming back from PAX and seeing we took that week off. Having that week off meant that we were not doing anything. We weren't putting content out. We weren't doing anything. And having seen like those first 3 episodes of Hooligans, every episode of Hooligans was more people coming out than the last one. We had more viewers. We had people cheering bits, subscribing. People that I had never seen in our chat before were subscribing, and that was such a cool trend to see. And then taking those weeks off and coming back and watching, just starting way low at the bottom again because we lost that momentum, was disheartening. And I know it's not a big deal. I know it's not a huge deal. But that little gremlin that lives inside of my brain and feeds me depression juice, he didn't like it. Which is not an excuse. I don't mean to blame it. It's just letting you know where I've been at. It's one of the reasons that I haven't had a lot of guests on the show since. I felt hesitant to invite anybody onto the show when I wasn't confident in the show anymore. I didn't know what to what to present. I didn't know what to do with it. I think a lot of that was I was still trying to make it more of what we had already done, but by myself. And that means that I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. I wasn't focusing on growing the channel in ways that worked well with my brain and how I needed things laid out. I was focused on trying to continue that same trend from before. And I'm not focused on that anymore. I'm focused on I just want to make good content. I just want to make things that people are going to enjoy. I want to make things that that people will look at and be excited to be involved in it. I want to make stuff that I find fun. Sakura, I think you were the one that was talking about the like some sort of 20s noir game that you had played in, and how you how much fun you had with that. You talked about that in the chat the one day, and I was immediately like, yes, that sounds like so much fun. I would love to do something like that. Like I went from doing a being somebody who said I will never run an actual play, to instead sitting there and going, well, can I run 2? Because that sounds very fun. I ended up getting into a Twitch call with, or not a Twitch call, a Discord call with Gabe, and just being like, so here's the concept, here's the basics of it. What do you think? And we're both kind of the opinion, like, yeah, this would be a lot of fun. So keep your eyes open. It may be coming. Gonna have to go through some refining period and find a new cast and stuff, but yeah, I'm excited. Tentatively. Part of that is going to involve a little bit of a rebrand from the channel. Warlocks and Waffles isn't the Warlocks and Waffles isn't the channel. It's a show. It always was. It was the morning show. Hash Browns and Hooligans is the actual play. In the rebrand, we'll pull both of them under the larger umbrella of Huzzah Escapism, which is my brand. Anything we create will be under that banner instead, and focus on the just creating content, creating a place to escape from whatever you need to. If work's hard, we've got content. Jump in, listen, participate, hang out in the Discord if you need to. If life is hard, same thing goes for that. Just, we want to be there for anybody who needs a safe place. Anybody who wants to be, who wants an escape. And we celebrate it. I don't want anyone to ever feel like our space isn't a safe space. And so that's what I'm going to be working towards. Gen Con is the first big step in that. I'm gonna have the I'll have new cards made up, and be ready for it. We're gonna be making some moves, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. I know that the chat has been super active, and I'm so sorry I haven't really been reading along with it, but I will catch up. Let's see here, and feel free to keep dropping stuff. Let's see here. Bum 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 bum. Getting harassed because it's the East Coast and it's afternoon. Monday is a state of mind. That's very true. Let's see here. Oh, this is where we were talking about Six Flags. Okay, I did read all the Six Flags stuff. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Weird sense of community that can come from this type of medium is amazing and crazy and lovely all at once. I agree, Artemis. Depression is rough. Yes, Sakura. Agreed. Do I like singing with a choir on my stream? I have never tried it. Faustus, why are you targeting me? I apologize, my friend. Eric, yeah, the anxiety and depression is really rough. ADHD, depression, anxiety is so hard, but it does help to talk to others and know you aren't alone. 100%. Diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 46. Yeah, it's something that I hear more and more frequently is people who just were never told it was an option. Was never told it was something that they potentially could have. Neurodivergence is a scatter plot of a lot of different aspects of how we think, and that hasn't been widely known until recently, and still isn't widely accepted. Yeah, it's a different way of thinking. Executive dysfunction a lot with ADHD, 100%. Insurance is nuts. We all know this. Lots of talk about insurance. Yeah, insurance sucks. Dun 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 dun. So much talk about insurance. I'm sorry I talked about insurance. You guys are brutal on it. I don't disagree, but brutal. Sometimes just showing up is enough. Thank you, Artemis. Appreciate that. When I first came to the stream, it was a guest spot for Gabe early. Gabe was like one of our first guests. Or was it the second time we had Gabe on? Either way, Sakura, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Your humor was a big part of me coming back. I really appreciate that. Safety is a big thing for you, Artemis. First started coming here, you I really appreciate you letting me know that, Artemis. Yeah, that's all I want for anybody who comes to the channel. Now that you got us, it'll be hard to get rid of us. Hey, I wouldn't want to get rid of you, Sakura. I enjoy you guys. Faustus, I have to log off, but it's deeply moving. I'm really, really appreciative. I'm glad to hear the things you're saying right now about how you're on the other side of some of the difficulties. Faustus, always a pleasure. If you come back and listen to this later, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for being here. BBG Hayward, did we lose listeners? Our average listener count went down quite a bit. It will ramp up as needed. It means you're not stressing much. I assume that's talking about my fans. You want that conversation. I don't know what conversation that was about, Sakura. I apologize. Based on BBG Hayward's, obviously the prom dress determines if I smash or not. Yeah, I mean, I assume this is about me talking about a monster in a prom dress. Yeah, we'll play that game someday. That'll be fun. We'll pull images of different D&D monsters into Photoshop and just draw what we think their prom dresses would look like. I'm not a good artist, but I'll try. Kick that momentum into high gear at Gen Con with the full force of the hooligans. I hope so, Davy Jones. That's my goal. Gen Con, I think Gen Con's gonna be good for us. Make content that you like, people will come. Be on the lookout for my addition to the show, ASMR cereal eating. I'm not saying that I'm against it. I'm just saying, no, I'm not against it. Yeah, there's a market for everything. Basically every ADHD person you know, including yourself, refers to their brain as a whole separate thing from themselves. It's very true. Yeah, it's very common because you're with ADHD, the like what you want and what your brain allows are not necessarily the same. And so it's very easy to get this sort of mentality of like, it's not that I like, it's in my experience, it's the best way to describe what is happening in my brain to somebody who is more neurotypical. Because I can explain, oh, well, ADHD, like I forget that thing exists. And people will be like, oh, okay, so you're forgetful and unattentive. And it's like, I guess, but it's not really me. Like, I want to remember where that is. My brain deletes the information. I refer to the different elements of my brain as different creatures. Like, there's the depression goblin, the anxiety gremlin, whatever fits the boat. Parameters change, so it's natural that you would have to change how things are done. This is not a bad thing. You have support here. Thank you, Artemis. Sounds very ADHD. A goal is never enough. Make it a stretch goal now. Want you for a bunch of one-shots. Everyone over at IS really enjoys you. Artemis, I would be happy to. Yeah, if I can make it work, I'm happy to be there. It's difficult being this vulnerable hunter, but your experience is probably helping someone. That's awesome. It's moving to me because I have my struggles and such. Thanks so much for sharing. Happy to. I'm an open book that is often hidden. If you can find it, it's right up there on the surface. I'm happy to talk about literally anything anyone would ever need me to talk about. But I often don't bring it up. When growing up, it was not something that we talked about. So there's still that like little bit of shame associated with it. Like, I'm not ashamed of it, but there's like a disconnect of like somewhere in my brain, I think that I shouldn't talk about it. But I'm also a huge supporter of like destigmatizing mental health issues. So it's a weird disconnect. I doubt you need it, but if you need to bounce ideas off of someone, you're happy to. Sakura, absolutely. Happy to have you on board. Escapism presents a Warlocks and Waffles production of a Hunter original. That's a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Love you, Hunter. Thank you, EO Gamer. Love you too. Brought to you by the letters D and D and the number 5. If you need stickers designed for Gen Con, holler at me. I'll be happy to help. I would love that, Artemis. Shoot me a message on Discord, because I will immediately forget that you've offered that. I have a couple of designs in mind that I would love to do. Out of context chat is strangely better than in context chat, so enjoy. The sheer number of frills on a beholder in a prom dress is exciting. D&D in a prom dress drawings now. Thanks. Do you have a Barbie account? You could grab some dresses from there. There's a memory trick called a memory palace. Unfortunately for many of us, it is a memory labyrinth. Yeah, I have a memory palace. Unfortunately, it is inhabited by monsters, and they are higher level than I am. Also kind of inspiring, really. I've been avoiding watching Twitch because it's just one more thing to learn and have another plate spinning, but hearing you get through to the other end is inspiring. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I still am bad at it, and routinely get things messed up, but I try and just keep in mind that I'm still learning how to do it. Every once in a while I'll jump into like the VOD for one of the streams. I'm like, oh, the volume's wrong. I should adjust that going forward, and I try and be better about it the next time. No memory technique has ever been helpful for me. Sometimes making a song, but then I have to sing it 50 times and I can no longer, can't be longer than 30 seconds. I was going to work on improving my memory, but I forgot. Bad at it is better than not doing it. Exactly. Yeah, you can always stretch it out. You can always play around with things and get better at it. Repetition and practice. You slowly get better at it. I'm very pattern driven. So if I do the same thing in the same order in the same way over and over again, it just starts becoming second nature. I used to work on a food truck, and one of the things we had to do was put the like little paper liners into boxes, and I would just sit there and like completely zone out and just that's very easy for me. Once I developed the pattern networks, but yeah, the main thing that I want to make very clear, going forward, is that I'm very excited about the stuff that's coming up. There's a level of stress and nervousness along with that of trying to, like, I don't want to do something that's gonna flop, but I also understand that like failure's not bad. I'm happy to fail over and over and over again if the end product is very good. I'm also, I was talking with somebody the other day about this. I would much rather be involved in putting good content out, even if it doesn't necessarily focus on me. I don't need to be the sole person doing stuff. Yeah, it's like it's my channel and I'm running stuff through it, but I'm more than happy to have other people be in the spotlight. I'd much rather just be creating content, making stuff that I'm proud of. Let's see here. Quick favor. Daughter's going to simple surgery, but she has complications that may make it hazardous. Quick thought. Oh man. BBG Hayward, absolutely. Hope everything goes okay. Yeah. Keep us posted if you can. Artemis sent you a reminder and some examples so you don't forget. I appreciate that. I know my brain well enough to know that I will 100% forget, and I don't want to. So it's not that I would. I'm sure there are tons of people out there who think I'm just bad at responding to things, or that I just don't I didn't want to respond to people, and that is almost never the case. It's very rare that I will ghost somebody. If I ever didn't respond to you about something, shoot me another message and just be like, hey, just want to follow up on this. I will respond as fast as I can to that. Usually it's a case of I saw the notification while I was out doing something, and got the notification, looked at it on my phone, and then put it back into my pocket and walked away. But then I'm not looking at it anymore, so it doesn't exist. That's not great. Yeah, that's the that's the stuff. I appreciate it, Artemis. See the message. Oh, I'll respond in a few minutes, and then never again. Absolutely. Once I've looked at the message that first time, if I don't have a notification for it, I will never look at that chat box again. I don't go looking for things that yeah, it is what it is. You all get it. That was the main stuff I wanted to go over. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that as long as I'm involved in it, as long as I'm putting stuff out, I want to make sure that stuff is a safe space for the people that are in it, and for those that need a safe space, an escape. I want to make sure that there's something for them. Whatever you're looking for, I want to make sure that we have content available for that. Whether that is dumb and silly, whether that is really intense. I was talking with Chris the other day, who's one of the lead guy for the alchemy team that I talk with. And I let him know that because he hadn't watched the most recent episode of Hooligans, and I was like, "Well, watch it. We almost had our first permanent character death," and he was like, "I'm not surprised. Your world has been on hard mode up until this point. Your world is not kind." I was like, I'll take that as a compliment. He's like, you should. It's very intense. And I do. I take that as a genuine compliment, because I've tried very hard to make sure that the world for Hooligans is rough and brutal, while still making sure that everybody who's playing in it is having fun and feels safe and comfortable in it, which is a weird line to tread. But folks, we now know, if you don't already, that we must remind with no judgment or blame attached. Absolutely. Always a safe person. If I'm insulting, it's always insincere and for the humor's sake. BBG Hayward, I've only died 4 times already. BBG Hayward has died a few times in the game that I run for his group. Davy Jones, I love the character death didn't happen during combat, exploration, or social encounters. It was RP. It's very true. It was it was an intense end to the session. Hey, Nat One Fun, welcome to the stream, bud. I have, if you guys haven't heard, Nat One Fun out here being just super cool and just a big baller. Did a one shot of the new Vecna thing with Nerd Immersion, which is wild. Congratulations, man. That's incredible. Let me see if I can find the link real quick. I'll throw it in here. Let's see here. Did I lose it? Where did I lose it? Maybe it's on his thing. Just along for a ride. There we go. Found it. Here you guys go. I haven't had a chance to actually watch it yet. But I am planning on watching it today as I'm prepping for Hooligans tonight. Yeah, go check that out. Go into the chat, let them know that you're there for Dan. Yeah, no, Dan, I saw that message or that post go up, and I was like, wow, that's huge, man. That's really cool. Yeah. Have a meeting to get to, but know you are seen, you're valid, and you are treasured. I'm happy I wandered in here. Thank you, Artemis. Happy to have you. I'll take a hand and an eye if you have a spare. Vecna's always willing to lend a hand. Absolutely. You have no idea how out of place I felt. I can imagine it though, because like it's probably a similar vein of when I showed up to our stream and sat down to run the interview, and Ed Greenwood got in the call, and I was like, why is Ed Greenwood here? He is too big of a deal to be on this show. Yeah, I get it. I cannot wait to watch through this though. It looks very good. The cast is incredible. Mostly because Dan is there. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Show it some love. Also check out just everything that Dan is involved in. They do awesome stuff. Let's see here. That's about all I've got for today. I don't want to just sit here and harp on the same things over and over again. I love you all dearly. I'm so thankful that you guys have given me the opportunity to do what I do. And I cannot wait to continue to make awesome content for you guys. So, in the meantime, have a great week. Come back out tonight for Hash Browns and Hooligans. I was watching a Twitch stream earlier today and saw that they had a thing on there where you could order food for them. So I have added a little thing. I don't know if you can see it on mobile, but you should be able to see it on PC. There's a little button that you can scroll down to, and it says "Send food." And you can send me either a pizza or Taco Bell. And if anybody sends me that during Hooligans tonight, I will give everybody inspiration. Not myself. I'll give everybody else inspiration. I don't get inspiration. I just get pizza or Taco Bell, which is inspiring in amongst itself. But there is absolutely no pressure to do that or a reason to do that, really. I just thought it was fun, so I put it on there. Yeah, so that's there. Let's see here. Not One Fun saw your post just now. I wanted to come in here and tell you I appreciate you. Thanks, man. I appreciate you as well. I'm looking forward to connecting at Gen Con, talking about some stuff. I also have... I'll hit you up, because I have a thing, and I think it's going to be good, and I would love you involved in it. Different project, but I'll hit you up. BBG Hayward, let's see here. Let everyone know in Discord about daughter. Let's see where Discord. See if there's a good channel in here. Probably just the discussion channel is probably fine. If you just want to put it in there. That's sort of our general text channel, which I could even... Here, I'll change that to general. Yeah. So the general channel's fine, BBG Hayward. Let's see here. Thanks for sharing. Very excited to get totally rad tonight. Be lurking tonight as usual. $25 of Taco Bell. Yeah, that is the downside. In order to do it, you set it up so that it is already the delivery fee, the tip, and then I think a small portion of each transaction is also donated to Save the Children. So there's like a few additional things in there that make it more expensive than it would normally be. But if I find a better way to do it, I'll implement it that way. But this is what it's set up to be for now. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you for being here. Genuinely appreciate all of you. And I will see you guys tonight for Hooligans. It's gonna be interesting. I have a lot of stuff prepped because there's a lot of different ways the story could end up going tonight. But thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Remember to embrace the nonsense. And I will see you all tonight. Later.